Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple days since I put out a video, and I've been really excited to hop back into Dragon Ball Super at my locals after going kind of hard on the One Piece card game. And I was talking with my buddy Derek, who runs the CCG Replay YouTube channel. You should go check that out. I will put him in the description down below. And I think, hit the microphone there. I think at this point, the Dragon Ball Super card game is just to get right to the point. The Dragon Ball Super card game is at a point where a lot of people are just tired of the current meta. And by that, I mean they're tired of the four leaders you see on the screen here. Sin Shenron, Despair Made Manifest, SS4 Goku and Vegeta in it together, SS Blue, Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks, Father Son Onslaught, and Gamma 1 and 2 Newfound Foes. Now, I will say this right off the bat. I love the Gamma leader. I played Gamma at Nationals, and I just put the deck back together, and I've been having a lot of fun playtesting it. It's one of my favorite decks in all Dragon Ball Super. But it is one of the four decks that people are just sick and tired of playing. And let's talk about why people are sick and tired of it. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. My goal is to get to 500 subs by the end of the year, and I would really love your support in doing so. Now, to hop into the video here, basically, really these are the four decks to beat. 2 red, 1 yellow, 1 blue. It's no surprise that Red's two best decks are Sin and Gogeta, essentially Goku and Vegeta. We're just going to call it Gogeta going forward. These two decks essentially gatekeep Red. There are good Red decks out there, like Red Pan Reboot, Android 13, but they aren't as good and consistent as Sin and Gogeta. These decks essentially just... when you build a deck, one of the first things you ask yourself, how will it compare against Sin and Gogeta? That's been something that's been going on for a while. And now, lately, it's how will this deck compare against Gamma and Father Son Vegeta and Trunks? Yeah, or Trunks Vegeta. It's gotten to the point where, looking at the meta, these decks are always in the top 16, and most metas have lately been mostly Gogeta and Sin. Now, for a while, Crimson Goku was the big blue leader to beat because it countered Sin and Gogeta so well. And unfortunately, because Bandai can't let Red not be the most dominant color in the format, they banned Crimson, nerfed Boo Unison, which caused Blue to take a severe hit. For a while, there was a lot of different blue decks in the meta. SS4 Vegeta, Blue Beerus Reboot, Gamma, Crimson, Soul Striker. Like, there was a bunch. Now, with the hits to Boonison and obviously Crimson being banned, Gamma is the best blue deck in the format, once again. And is mainly Gamma is good because of the huge amount of floodgates it has access to. It has Android 17, Defending Friends. You have the Gohan Power Unshackled, the Android 14. I can't remember what it's called. I have the deck actually in front of me right now. I probably should know some of this stuff here. Android 14 Inorganic Horror, the Android 18 Counter Play. It has floodgates for days. And my buddy Derek was like, I'm so sick of Gamma, it needs to be banned. And there are a lot of people on the internet with that same sentiment. My thing is, you know what? I love Gamma. Well, yeah, let's ban Gamma. But let's ban the rest of these. Let's ban all four of these leaders and just move on to the next meta. Because quite frankly, I'm sick of seeing these. I play Gamma because it's the best blue deck in the format, and I love playing blue. But I also know playing against these other three decks is a pain in the ass. And I'll go into a little bit of why each one is so good. And why I think we need to just move on, because we're not doing rotations. I don't want to do a rotation. I just think it's time for Bandai to really be like, you know what? let's just get rid of these leaders and let people play the new decks that we've come out with. Like I said, Gamma is just floodgate the deck, but I think it is a necessary evil because Sin and Gogeta exist. Yellow is a counter to blue, while blue is a counter to red in most situations. Now, Trunks Gita. It's just a great multi-purpose, like very tech-based deck. Tapping down lots of cards, surprisingly drawing a huge amount, playing some pretty big hitters. Almost all cards in Trunks Gita have barrier, so they're very difficult to get rid of, even though they're a bunch of 1-drops that help set up the board for like bigger swingers. Then you have decks like just Yellow has so many great tech options. Z battle cards, they've got a couple good ones. Well, that's another thing with Blue. Blue's got so many great Z battle cards. Yellow's got decent Z battle cards. Not as good as Red, in my opinion. Not as good as Blue, but decent ones. But then you have just cards that are great multi-purpose cards. I'm trying to think of some right off the top of my bat. Vegeta's Final Flash, Black Kamehameha, Super Namekian Lord Slug, Mecha Frieza, Repost, the new Vegito, I can't remember its name, Vegito, Floodgate. It has almost as many floodgates as Blue does, but it has a little bit more tech options too. It's the best Yellow deck in the format, unless you want to play Golden Frieza from set 1, which is in a lot of ways a better Blue deck than most Blue decks are. Even then, I feel like Golden Frieza took a hit when Bean took a hit, but for the most part, it's still great because there's so many great Frieza's Army cards, and there's going to be even more in the next set. Then, of course, the Gogeta. The deck draws too many cards. It's super combo heavy, allows you to build up Z energy super quick to play a lot of great Z battle cards, like SS Blue Vegeta, Rush Attack, I think that's what its name is. You build up so much Z energy for both Sin and Gogeta that you can play that new Gohan promo for ridiculously cheap, very quickly. With Gogeta, you also can combo with Saiyans that are in rest mode, which allows you to swing with them and then combo with them if you wish, which is fundamentally against the rules of the game. No other deck can really do that except for Cumber, which you have to give a card servant to, but that's a whole different thing. It's so fast and so efficient. You're always gonna have a huge hand, and then the Z leader is 100k, which is insane. And the fact that you can awaken defensively or offensively, it's ridiculous. It should not be allowed to be awakened defensively. If someone's going in for the kill, you shouldn't be able to Z awaken and go to 100k to get out of the attack for the turn. That's my opinion. Most Red Saiyan cards are incredibly good. Broly Crown is insane in that deck. You have access to the Gogeta Unison, which is insanely good. I feel like that should have absolutely gotten a hit if Bunison got a hit, because it's the best red Unison by far. And then you have Red Sin, which is just, it's so easy for you to get your, to awaken in this deck. They did take away the ability to double strike crit on turn 2, which is great. It nerfed the deck enough that it wasn't a major threat. And then they added in the new tournament set cards, the new Sin Shenron and the Gohan promo, which just made the deck way better again. The deck is, both Sin and Gogeta are incredibly consistent decks. They've got great tech cards, great archetypes, and the Z leader for Sin is just ridiculously great on its own. It has no energy requirement, so you don't have to pay anything to Z awaken. Your ability, it just has great boss monsters, and overall, that's why these 4 decks, all the things I've said here. I know this is a little bit of a rant, but this is why all 4 of these decks have remained at the top of their game. Now, you have other great decks out there that are doing pretty well out there, like the new Yellow Majin Vegeta, new Blue Android 21. There are other decks that are solid, but just these 4 are consistently amazing. Trunks Gita has been out since set 16. Gamma has been out since set 17, and both Sin and Gogeta have been out since set 18. We just have gotten set 20, and we are now heading into set 21. I really think this is a time that fans, we as the players, have to sit down and be like, do we really want to continue seeing these four leaders? And I know a lot of people are going to say, like, why ban these leaders just because they're so good? You know, why would we want to play anything else besides these leaders? You know, if you ban them, then what leaders are we going to play? That's the issue. Looking at these leaders, if we do not ban them, then Bandai's only option to make more playable leaders is to make them stronger than these four, which is just insane. I don't want that. You know, it's... With red, they have other options. Yellow has options. Blue is the only one where I'm a little hesitant with that. Because if blue goes away, if the Gamma goes away, what does blue have? Blue has Android 21, which, I mean, is a very interesting, odd archetype. Superhero Gohan. SS3 Reboot still is a thing. Beerus, I mean, it's not as good anymore without Bunison. Soul Striker is always a solid bet. You know, I'll always go back to Soul Striker. But I really think we as players need to look past this stuff and realize that these cards and these decks, their time has passed. They've ran the rounds, and I think they just need to be retired at this point. Maybe even just a temporary ban. Just Bandai, just say, hey, these four leaders are not usable for the next year. See what people come up with. See if they release new archetypes that are honestly fun and decently playable. Because as long as these four leaders exist, most people aren't going to want to play any of the new archetypes that come out, you know? Because they're never going to live up to these standards. And at that point, it's going to hurt their card sales, because they're like, why are people not playing any of our new cards that we put out? It's because these exist. And as long as these exist, people are going to continue playing them. Maybe some options are to errata these cards. You know, like Gamma, for example. Maybe instead of restanding 3, essentially, it restands 2. You still need to have at least 3 androids in your drop. 3 androids in your energy area. But you only restand 2. You know, maybe that's a little bit easier. You don't just restand 3. With Vegeta and Trunks, maybe they don't get to draw. Maybe you don't get to draw on Awaken, or reduce some of the cards that have barrier. I don't know. That one's a little harder, to be honest, to figure out an errata. Errata for Gogeta could just be you can't combo with tap down Saiyan cards, or maybe you can only do that once per turn. Or maybe like you don't get to play a Saiyan when you attack. You just get to draw one, or you play a Saiyan. That's one option. I think my dryer ended. Sin. Oh yeah, for Gogeta also you can't Z Awaken on your opponent's turn. Oh, and the 8-drop Gogeta is also ridiculously overpowered. I hate that card. It never should exist. It's completely broken. It's unbalanced as hell. Get rid of it. Or at least allow people to use negates against it. But whatever, that's a different thing. Sin Shenron, require the Z leader to have at least maybe cost 1 or 2 energy to play. 1 I think is fine. Also have it that it cannot play anything else besides red Shadow Dragons. So it prevents that from using the new Gohan promo, Broly Crown. Basically stuff that it's too busted to use. But at least those are my thoughts. Like I said, I love Gamma. And I've played Trunks I've played a little bit of Trunks Gogeta. I've played a lot of Gogeta, and I played a little Sin. I just think for sake of... Because Bandai does this all the time, where they're like, to encourage diversity and new strategies, we've banned this card. I think it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Bandai to just be like, these 4 are not usable for a year. Let's just see what happens. But, you know, that's just... that's just what I hope for. You know, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of these leaders? What changes would you make to them to make them a bit more balanced? Or would you agree they should be banned? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.